After a massive and long-drawn election process, India's 18th Lok Sabha has sworn in. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has assumed office alongside a major part of his cabinet. Mohan Bhagat, the leader of Rashtriya Sevak Sangh (RSS), the ideological patron of Mr. Modi's BJP, has made a rare speech indicating his general displeasure with the direction of Indian politics and beyond. And in a surprising turn of events, there has been a brief exchange of posts on social networking site X between the Prime Minister of the arch rivals in South Asian region, Pakistan and India. There is certainly a lot to unpack in this episode of Unraveled with Marvi Sarmat. Welcome to New Wave Global. And tonight we have a distinguished guest joining us, Nirupama Subramanian. An accomplished journalist and writer, Nirupama has an impressive background with extensive experience in reporting and editing. She has been a foreign correspondent in Sri Lanka and Pakistan, providing invaluable insights into the political dynamics of the region. Currently, she serves as an independent journalist and continues to contribute to the understanding of South Asian politics and international relations. Welcome, Nirupama. We are so glad you are here.
Thanks a lot, Marvi, for having me on your show. Thank you so much.
So let's start with Mr. Modi swearing in for the third time, which is, I think, only second to Mr. Nehru, who became the third time prime minister without probably without a coalition. Mr. Modi has come with a coalition for the third time, but nevertheless, he has come as a third time prime minister. But a lot of commentators were anticipating that there will be a change. This will be Modi 3.0. This will be a new BJP, new Mr. Modi. The cabinet, on the other hand, what we see is very little change. What do you say?
I think one of the prime drivers of this cabinet that you see is to signal continuity. Basically, that there is no change at all. People were expecting that a weakened Modi, politically weakened Modi, may because of now the political compulsions, the need to have this coalition government, will make some dramatic changes in the cabinet. For instance, there was talk that the Home Minister Amit Shah might be replaced, or that the Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman might be replaced, or that some other moderate people within the BJP, or not so hardline, let me say, might be pushed up in the cabinet. But all this has not happened, and I think Mr. Modi's Mr. Modi's priority right now is to signal that nothing has changed. That is as he has been all these 10 years. He's as strong, he's as determined, and as sorry, let's take that again. He's as strong and as determined as he has always been. And that is what you see in the cabinet. Nothing has changed. There were rumors that the coalition partner, one of the coalition partners, wanted the Home Minister to be replaced, Mr. Shah, Amit Shah, to be replaced, and somebody else brought in. But that has not happened. And the whole focus is on showing that there is continuity. There is a constancy in the way this government has taken office, and absolutely no change whatsoever, as people were expecting, because of the fact that the BJP didn't get a majority.
That's right. So do you see this continuity will go on for 5 years, or there's some voices among the Indian intelligentsia and journalists who believe that this might not go on for long, and the trouble might be awaiting Mr. Modi in, let's say, 6 months. What do you say about that?
Yeah, I mean, it is a possibility. It's a coalition of very unlikely partners, in the sense that the two main partners, Mr. Modi's two main partners, the Telugu Desam Party and the Janata Dal United, are not ideologically the same as
Aligned with, yeah.
they are basically what somebody has described as contextual allies. They're not ideological allies. So in that sense, they are not going to stand by and back any ideological agenda that the BJP might try to bring forward in this government. And also there are other allies already. They are expressing happiness at not being given some cabinet berth, that they were given junior positions, and so on and so forth. So one cannot say at this point that it could be 6 months down the line or 2 years down the line. But given the manner in which Mr. Modi has ruled the country for 10 years,
Mm.
it's basically a one-person rule.
Yeah.
And it has, I mean, there's been very little concentration on very major matters. For instance, demonetization, or for that matter, the farm bills against which the farmers in Punjab and in those areas came out to Delhi and protested. There was no consultation. It was just drafted and pushed through. There was no consultation on the abrogation of Article 370 in Kashmir. It was done in top secrecy. So there are very many issues like that on which there's been no consultation at all. This government, or at least the BJP under the leadership of Mr. Modi and Mr. Shah, has been a very, very, it has been run by a very small group of people within the PMO, and all the ministries are as if the ministers are not there at all. Everybody is just reporting to the PMO. So one wonders now, I mean, the question is, how will this new government pull along with this kind of style of governance? So is that style of governance going to change now? Which is a question that will be asked. And for that, we'll have to wait and see in the coming days what happens. Yeah, but it's going to be tense for everybody, is the general feeling. And it's a valid speculation, I think.
Yeah, but I was just thinking, Mr. Modi, since he is very keen to give off an impression of continuity, and for that he did not, he appears to not care much about how the two kingmaker parties, the coalition partners, would feel if they are kept distanced from the key ministries. The big four ministries, for example, have been kept with the BJP and with the same people almost. I was just thinking, what are the options for TDP and JDU? I mean, do they really have an option to leave NDA and join India? What will they get in India alliance? And what are the options? The smaller coalition partners, for example, Eknath Shinde and others who might have, Ajit Pawar, for example, they have, corruption cases and other things, impending on their heads, which by joining, in lieu of joining BJP, they were let free. So the coalition partners who we thought, a lot of people thought, might be a restraining influence on Mr. Modi and BJP, might not be such a restraining influence, and this might actually go on like it has been for last 10 years.
Well, that's one view, but we don't know what happens and why, and the breakpoints in a coalition. there could be very, very many reasons. And it's a slightly difficult to predict. Yeah, it's valid if to ask why at this point would uh, the TDP or the JDU want to break away. But if
Mm.
they feel that, okay, they've got what they wanted, and now there is a law of diminishing returns uh, in this government, and they don't get much by associating it with it for much longer, then they may quit. I mean, I think we are getting ahead of the game here to see whether they're going to join India Alliance. What will they get from India Alliance? I think all this is too far away to speculate. At the moment, they are here. They will try and extract what they want. And to your point about, why Mr. Modi did not see it fit to give them the big four. I think the big four has never really been at least in my memory, has not been with alliance partners. The biggest party, the lead party, keeps those four ministries with itself. So that is not really in contention. I think
Mm.
when uh, these people are so far they've not expressed any unhappiness with the portfolios that they have got, the TDP and the JDU at least. And but their main focus really is what they're going to get for their respective states, Bihar and Andhra Pradesh. That is where the real conflicts will arise, because they want money, they want the category of special status category. So all those are issues on which things could get tense, and
Mm.
we have to see how BJP will uh, will respond to those challenges, because they're not known to be uh, I mean, at least this BJP under Modi and Shah are not known to be uh, conflict resolutionists, if I
That's
may
right.
call
Yeah.
that.
The tacticians, political
Yeah,
tacticians.
I mean,
Yeah.
they're not diplomats in that sense.
But that gives us the segue for the next question, which is about the recent speech which Mr. Mohan Bhagwat made, which is like, at least it's rare to, it's not in my knowledge that, and you can tell us that such a speech came from, such a public displayer, so to speak, has come from RSS. Before this, it was probably when Mr. Advani came to Pakistan and visited Jinnah's mausoleum. At that time, I remember such a public displayer came, and after that, this is the one. What do you see? Is this really a displayer, or am I reading too much into the speech?
No, everybody is reading it as that only, that it's a sharp rebuke um, to Mr. Modi's style of campaigning, the fact that he also made this about himself
Mm.
and not about the organization. And I think that has also rankled with the RSS, and there have uh, during the election process, the BJP president, now he's no longer the president, but Mr. JP Nadda gave
Yeah,
an interview in which he said that
we can win without
uh,
RSS.
is now
Yeah.
capable,
Yeah.
and it need the RSS. So there were all these signs of some kind of rancor uh, within the between the two, between the RSS and the BJP. And now Mr. Mohan Bhagwat has said this. Um, the next steps again are speculative,
Mm.
and it was widely anticipated that the RSS would play um, uh, some kind of it would try and rein in Mr. Modi in some way. But you see, all said and done, Mr. Modi is now the prime minister. There is a government, And I think the RSS will, for now, accept him as a prime minister. The rebuke has been made, and uh, it's out there, and everybody knows that this displeasure has been expressed in the open.
Mhm.
So that much the RSS has made clear. Now, whether it wants to go any further, whether it wants to take any steps against anybody in the BJP, I think I don't um, have the tools to predict that really.
Okay. Yeah, but do you think this public display or public rebuke, as you say, would weaken Mr. Modi's position within BJP or BJP's own standing in the coalition or the government?
Mr. Modi is already weakened. There are people in the BJP who are waiting uh, to express themselves, who have been sidelined. There are many people in the BJP who have been sidelined, who have won this election with bigger margins than Mr. Modi. So there are a lot of um, rivals to Mr. Modi, let me say, within the BJP. But at this point, when Mr. Modi is in control, when he is sending out signals that he is in charge, that nothing has changed, I think nobody will speak unless there is some kind of tipping point. And I don't know if that tipping point has been reached. And when we will reach it, if at all, is something that we can only speculate about.
And yeah, what that tipping point can be? I mean, can we speculate?
It could be something within the coalition. It could be uh, some other point of disagreement between the RSS and the BJP. It's difficult to tell, Marby, really. I mean,
Mm.
I'll be really getting ahead of myself here if I speculate any further.
Can the tipping point be, I mean, again, we are speculating, so I will not drag you there. But quickly moving to the regional situation after this little exchange on X between former Prime Minister of Pakistan, Mr. Nawaz Sharif, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi. So in Pakistani media, I was looking at on a cursory look at the print media. I sensed a sense of Pakistani media is, I think, there's a general display here over the tone of Mr. Modi's post, and it is considered to be, a veiled insult to Mr. Nawaz Sharif's overtures. Um, how does Indian media agree, and what is a general viewpoint there?
So I think there is a general acknowledgement in India that Mr. Nawaz Sharif, the Sharifs in general, and of late, if you can include Maryam Nawaz Sharif also in that, have
Mm.
all made statements at some point or the other, and very consistently, that
Mm.
they want peace with India. At the same time, though, uh, there is a feeling that you know the that that Pakistan still has the capacity to wind up terrorist acts inside in Kashmir. And in fact, on the day of the swearing in, there was a terror attack. I mean, nobody is saying that it's Pakistan or anything, but generally, when there is a terror attack in Kashmir, there
Mm.
is always the thought that, well, it's come from across the border.
Mm.
Um, or their handlers are sitting across the border. Some across the border, across the LOC kind of connection. So um, so the thing is, these messages came really the day after the swearing in, and also which was also the day after the terror attack. So
Yeah.
it really you know, the Mr. Modi's response to Mr. Sharif, that, you know, there has to be peace and security, underlined this whole business um, of continuing incidents in Kashmir, for instance. And you know, Marvi, the thing is, the situation has improved so much in Kashmir. There've been very few terror incidents, so the ones that do happen really stand out as well.
Mm.
And this is one of them. And the fact that there is a lot of concentration in the Jammu area, in Rajouri, Poonch, Katwa, and all that. As I think, as we speak, there has been another incident in Katwa. So there is concern that, you know, on the one hand, here are the Sharifs, they want peace with India, they want trade with India, and they feel that this is the way forward for the India-Pakistan relationship. On the other hand, plus, of course, and they are also on this time, this time around, they have their government has the backing of the army. So uh, are they also speaking with the concurrence of the army on these issues? Uh, there is a little confidence, I think, a little more confidence about this on the Indian side. But on the other hand, that there are wheels within wheels. And that is why, I mean, there is a feeling that there are wheels within wheels. And that is why, you know, something like, you know, this incident incident in Riyasi, or, you know, something in Katwa, or earlier in Rajouri, or in Poonch, these things keep happening. Why do these things keep happening if the leadership of the country, maybe even the army now, wants peace with India? You know, how is it? How is it that such well-trained people are roaming inside an area where it was free of areas that were free of militancy for so many years? Who are these people? You know, how do they have the capacity to carry on you know, operations again in those areas for such a long time? Who equips them? Where do they get their arms from? So these are questions that are in the minds of people. So that is how people are looking at the exchange between Mr. Modi and sorry, Mr. Nawaz Sharif, Mr. Shahbaz Sharif, and Mr. Modi. So
So,
that's where we are.
yeah. So there was this another, slight hope when Mr. Modi did not get, a majority, and there was this, the inkling of the coalition government. So there was this hope that probably Mr. Modi's stance about the peace between India and Pakistan would slightly water down, and there will be some movement ahead from this point onwards. How do you see it? Do you see Mr. Modi's stance slightly softening towards peace?
I think Mr. Modi is basically, he tried in 2015, very soon after he came to power, within a year after he came to power, a year and a half, when he stopped en route from Afghanistan to India. He stopped in Lahore and went to meet then Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif and all that. And within 5 days, there was an incident in India, in Pathankot. It was a big attack on a military base, and then there were attacks all through that year. So I think Mr. Modi feels himself singed by that attack. He's burnt his fingers in that overture to Pakistan. Many people at that, I was one of those who said, well, he's made a breakthrough move here by actually visiting Pakistan, something that Manmohan Singh wanted to do but never could do in his time. But Mr. Modi has done it, and I was one of those who really welcomed that move at that time. But there were also others saying, he's done a foolish thing. This is going to bite him now very soon. And within 5 days, it did bite him. And then there were people saying, oh, he went and had khana with Nawaz Sharif, and look, this is what he got back in return. So I think the attitude here would be that unless there is a guarantee that nothing will happen, that to sabotage any move, and thus weaken Mr. Modi politically. Already he's weakened. He doesn't want to make a move towards Pakistan, which will bite him back and weaken him further. So I think those are all the considerations that will be that the government will take into account if it's going to move forward. I already think, Marvi, that there is back channel contact between Prime Minister Modi and the Sharifs. I think. I mean, I have no way of knowing this, but there is some. There must be some diplomatic back channel activity going on. There are lots of track twos. There's a sudden eruption, a rash of, if you will, of track twos taking place all over the world, some in Bangkok, somewhere in London, some here and some there. So all that is going on. And these things don't happen in a vacuum. These things happen when when there is a willingness in the establishment on both sides to move forward. So I think there is some willingness on that score, but I think here the government and Prime Minister Modi and everybody else in his innermost circle would be advising him to get guarantees written in stone from the other side that nothing will happen to disrupt any move that would be made. And if you ask me, one of the easiest things to do is to start with the high commissioners. I mean, there's no in restoring the diplomatic missions to their earlier status by sending high commissioners. I don't think there's anything to lose there. But let's see how it goes. And the next logical move after that would be trade. And here I think Pakistan has to make that move because it was Pakistan that called off trade in the wake of the abrogation of Article 370. Now, India has made it quite clear that, there's going to be no going back on that issue. Yes, statehood will be restored, elections will be held in Jammu and Kashmir, but the abrogation will stay. And also, India's Supreme Court has said that it was done. Whatever is done, and we have to move forward. So I think there is a sense that stays. Now, Pakistan has to decide whether, that is acceptable as, to it. Because on earlier occasions, it has said, no, it has to go back to status quo ante. And, some people have said, no, at least there has to be statehood. So there are many voices on this coming from the Pakistan side. And, there's really no clarity on where exactly the government stands on this issue. So I think there are many ends to be tied, and we may see some movement in the coming days if all goes well.
So, as I understand, you have a hope that the statehood will return to Kashmir. Is
Yeah,
that what?
this is also what the Supreme Court has told the government, that you have to restore statehood to Kashmir. This is also what the court has said in its ruling. So they will do that. And they've
Oh,
always said that they will do it. But whether they'll do it before the election or after the election, when the elections will be held, all this is up in the air right now.
mm,
There's some speculation that elections may be held in September this year. But
oh,
that is also not pakka. I
mm,
mean, it's not
mm,
pakka news as yet.
mm. And the onus of the next steps towards peace, in your view, is on Pakistan. Is on
Yeah,
Pakistan.
it does seem so. It does seem so.
Okay. And with this tweet, this post on X, I think there's a less and less the confidence in Pakistan's decision-making quarters is receding. I think, they have started thinking, um, uh, they're not sure what the response from Indian side would be. So we might be on a catch-22 situation.
Yeah, it could be. But as I said, there seems to be back channel contact. So
Mm.
who knows what comes up through that? Because earlier when we in 2022
Mm.
or sorry, 2021, we saw really a ceasefire, or not the ceasefire already existed in a frayed manner, but you saw the two armies come to a sudden agreement that
Yeah.
they are going to um, uh, observe the ceasefire more diligently and prevent all kinds of incidents, and that has held. Now it's 2024. It's 3 years, more than 3 years that it is held. So that is, I feel that holding of the ceasefire is a very important sign and indication that the two sides do want to move forward, that there was some back channel contact, and that this back channel contact does continue in some form or the other. I do not know at what level, but it may even be at a personal level, who knows?
Mm.
But it's there, is what my sense is.
That's a good sense then. Gives us a reason to hope. And with this, we come to the end of tonight's discussion. We shall keep bothering Nirupama in future to get her insights on issues pertaining to South Asian geopolitics and much more. Nirupama, thank you very much for your deep understanding and your insights of the regional political landscape, which has truly enriched our conversation tonight. Thank you very much and have a good night.